Top of the morning, and it is a beaut.
And the hope of the Irish as the future champion of the world.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio.
Welcome to the Barry J. McDonald podcast. The place where dreams get dusted off and acted on. Because life is too short, we're living on a rock that's flying through space, and hey, what the hell else were you going to do with yourself here?
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. Now, it would be nice to have a superpower, wouldn't it? Well, I'm going to show you the superpower that you do have, and you're probably using it against yourself. You're using it the wrong way around. Now, where is that superpower? It's in your mental time zones. What are the mental time zones? Well, you can always be guaranteed that you are in one right now. You're either in the past, you're in the present, or you're in the future. Now, if you're in the past, you're probably reminiscing. You're probably thinking of times when things were easier, life was better, prices were cheaper, there were more jobs. Or maybe you're thinking back to maybe the perfect Christmas that you had, or the perfect present that you got, or the time you asked maybe that fella or that girl out and they said yes. Or maybe you're thinking about the time you kicked that ball and it just sailed perfectly into the goal and the crowd cheered for you. You have a lot of great moments in the past. Those frozen moments in time that can never be spoiled. But there's a negative part to hanging around too long in the past. Because if you hang around the past, sometimes we can dwell on all the things that went wrong, all the humiliation we had, all the people who said we would never amount to anything, said that we were ugly, said that we were untalented. And sometimes playing around in those memories is a really bad thing to do. Or maybe you're in the now right now. You're just dwelling right now in the moment, which possibly seems like a good place to be. You're happy with where you are. You've got your family around you, you've got your friends, you've got your projects, you've got your business, and everything right now seems brilliant. But there is a downside to hanging around too long in the now. Because if you hang around too long in the now, well then your future will be the exact same as it is right now. You'll just be looking at where you are, you'll think this is as good as it gets, and you won't look for any improvements. Now, if you're looking off into the future is always rosy. It's always perfect. You'll know that in the future you'll have that $1 million, or you'll have that perfect figure, or you will have that great online business. Those things off in the distance, they're going to come to you. And while that all seems great and rosy and perfect off in the future, sometimes hanging around in the future is a bad thing too. Because when you do get so caught up in the future, you can neglect the now. You can be constantly looking forward and neglecting where you are right now and not being grateful for what you have. Another negative part of the future is that the unknown, what's ahead. What's going to happen to you in 6 months' time, a year from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now. Will you even see that far? And sometimes looking too far off in the future can be scary because we don't know what's around the next corner, what's around next week, what's going to happen. We don't know. So each of those kind of aspects, the past, the present, and the future can be great, but they can always be negative if you look at the wrong aspects of it. Now, unfortunately, a lot of us probably look at the wrong aspects. We look back at the past and we hold grudges against people. Or we hold up our victim card and say to ourselves, well, the reason I'm here is because of all those things that happened to me in the past. And, how can I expect to have a great life if all those things happened to me in the past? And we just kind of hold that victim card in front of everyone else. And we expect the world to give us sympathy, to, open the door for us, to make way for us because we had a rough start. And again, in the now, if we hang around too long in the now, we don't look at improving ourselves. And we don't see, what better version of there is me. How could I be better? How could I be cleverer? How could I be making more money? How could I develop my talent? How could I write another book or create another business or make extra money? When you dwell too long in the now, you just get comfortable where you are and your future can be guaranteed that it'll just be another now unless you're not making any improvements in it. And again, as I said, looking off into the future, if we look at the negative part of it, we can do a lot of dreaming. We can just sit there and imagine what it would be like to have $1 million, or imagine what it would be like to have a great online business, or a great partner, or whatever it is, and just close our eyes and we're kind of in that moment. But we can't act in the future. We can only really act in the now. So if you are maybe in one of those 3 time zones, are you using it for yourself, or are you using it against yourself? Now, you can use the past to kind of propel you along. Right now you might be a little bit comfortable. Maybe you're not pushing yourself as hard as you could be. But what you can do is look back into the past, and you can use all those memories when people said that you wouldn't amount to anything. And you can use all those memories of maybe the poor upbringing you have and say to yourself, there's no way I am ever going back there again. And using those past memories to power you off in the now and in the future. So, as I said, right now you are in one of those time zones. But there's no reason why you can't use your mental time zones as your secret superpower. Use it to motivate yourself. Use it to inspire yourself. Don't get too comfortable in the now, because even though we believe the now will never change, time moves on. And if, as Bob Proctor says, if you're not growing, you're just decaying. You're deteriorating, because life is constantly moving on. If you're not keeping up with life, you'll slowly fall backwards. You'll slowly just decline. So, by using the future to look off and say, how can I be better? How can I improve this? How can I make more money? You're constantly staying ahead of the treadmill of life. So you're always keeping up with it, or keeping beyond it. So, think about that today. Whatever zone you are in, are you using the good parts of it, or are you using the bad parts of it? And maybe, if you focus a little more on the positive parts of it, you will probably find that you will be more motivated. You will be more inspired. You will find yourself taking more action because of the way you use those mental time zones. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Before you go, Barry would like to give you a free copy of Words to Wealth. In it, he's going to show you 10 ways to make money from writing. Head on over to writecome.com now for your copy. Have a great day and come back soon.